Chosen one, what you interpret as abandonment is actually a divine clearing. They are coming, and the most beautiful part is that there will be absolutely no warning when they arrive. You have been sitting in what feels like the quietest, most isolated season of your life. You look around and see empty spaces where people used to be. But your presence here is not an accident. A higher intelligence paused your day to bring you this exact confirmation. The universe is currently orchestrating a convergence of souls. The connections, the understanding, and the right people are being routed toward your path. The silence you hear right now is just the deep breath before the massive shift. But here is the truth you must face. If your nervous system is still wired for struggle, you will subconsciously reject the peace when it walks through the door. A sudden blessing requires a prepared vessel. Stay with me until the very end of this message. Do not click away, because I am going to give you the exact blueprint for what is about to happen. By the time this video is over, I will reveal the specific signs that prove their arrival is imminent, so you are not caught off guard. I will give you the exact tool to recalibrate your frequency so you do not accidentally sabotage this beautiful connection when it manifests. And at the very end, I will speak a powerful activation over your life that will reveal exactly who you must become to hold this massive blessing. You have invested so much pain into this journey. Give yourself the next few minutes to receive the reward. Let us talk about the exact space you are occupying right now. I want you to imagine you are sitting alone in the dark. The only light in the room is the faint glow of your phone screen. You feel a familiar, heavy chill resting on your shoulders as you look out the window, watching a world that seems to be moving on completely without you. People are living their lives, laughing, connecting, while you feel completely paused. You scroll through your contacts, looking at names of people you have known for years, and you realize with a sinking, heavy heart that there is not a single person you can actually call who would truly understand the depth of what you are feeling. The loneliness you are experiencing is not just a thought in your mind. It is a physical weight sitting directly on your chest. You have carried this divine calling for so long, trying desperately to explain your visions and your heart to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You have poured your beautiful light into vessels that were full of holes. You gave your energy to connections that drained you dry. And now, you are just exhausted. I need to honor that exhaustion right now. Hear my voice clearly. You are not broken for feeling tired. You are not failing your spiritual journey because you have days where you just want to give up, blend in, and be normal. The grief of the quiet season is deeply real, and your tears are valid. But I need you to understand something critical about this empty space you are sitting in. What felt like isolation was actually incubation. You were not buried in the dark to be forgotten by the universe. You were planted in the dark because what you are growing requires a highly protected environment. The universe had to aggressively pull you away from the noise so you could finally hear your own frequency. As this period of incubation comes to its final conclusion, your body and your spirit will begin to signal that a massive convergence is approaching. There are 3 specific physical and spiritual signs that prove their arrival is imminent. The first sign is an unexplained, deep fatigue. I am not talking about needing an extra hour of sleep or feeling a little sluggish after a long day. I am talking about a profound tiredness deep in your bones. You wake up exhausted. Coffee does not fix it. Rest does not seem to touch it. This is happening because your physical body is actively processing massive energetic upgrades in the background. You are carrying an entirely new frequency, and your nervous system is working overtime to integrate it. Your body is physically preparing to hold a much higher vibration of love, abundance, and connection than you have ever experienced in your entire lifetime. It takes immense physical energy to build a spiritual vessel. The second sign is sudden, unpredictable emotional waves. You might find yourself driving in your car or simply doing the dishes, and suddenly tears are streaming down your face without any logical trigger. One moment you feel an absolute, transcendent peace, and the very next moment, a profound sadness washes over you out of nowhere. This is not you losing your mind. This is not a step backward. This is your spirit purging the final layers of old grief, old rejection, and old betrayal. You are crying out the residual pain of the people who could not love you properly, literally making energetic room in your heart for the ones who will. You have to empty the cup before the universe can fill it with something pure. The third sign is a drastically changed tolerance for your environment. The places, the conversations, and the dramas you used to tolerate now feel physically suffocating to you. You cannot sit in rooms where people gossip anymore. You cannot engage in superficial debates. Your energy literally repels it. You might even feel a tightness in your chest or a sudden need to leave the room when the frequency drops. This is your own energy forcefully pushing you out of the old rooms because your new tribe is waiting in the new rooms. Notice how the air feels heavier around certain people now. Notice how your sleep is deep, but you wake up feeling like you were doing heavy spiritual work all night. Notice how your spirit is pulling inward, asking for more silence, more space, and more firm boundaries. If your spirit is nodding as you hear this, if you recognize these exact shifts happening in your own body right now, I want you to anchor that recognition. Go to the comments right now and type 777 if you have been feeling these exact physical shifts. Let that simple action be a signal to the universe that you are awake and paying attention to the signs. But these physical signs are just the surface of what is really going on. What is happening underneath this physical discomfort is the real reason you had to be left alone for so long. There is a specific, divine architecture to your wilderness season, and what I need to show you next will explain every single painful goodbye you have had to endure over the last few years. I want to talk about the divine architecture of your wilderness season. You have spent countless nights replaying conversations in your head, wondering what you did wrong to make people walk away. You have questioned your own character, your own worth, and your own sanity. But I need to reveal the absolute truth about why your circle got so small. Those people did not leave you because you were difficult to love. The universe forced an eviction. When that long-term friendship ended abruptly and painfully, the universe was clearing the room. When that opportunity fell through, at the exact last minute, the universe was clearing the room. When you found yourself completely misunderstood by the people who were supposed to protect you, the universe was clearing the room. The divine connections that are coming to you right now operate on a completely different frequency than your past. If the universe had allowed those old relationships to stay, their lower frequency would have anchored you to a version of yourself that you were meant to outgrow. Rejection was never about your worth. Rejection was divine protection from wrong alignments. Think about the ancient pattern of preparation. Think of Joseph. He did not go from the comfort of his father's house straight to the palace. He was betrayed by his own blood. He was thrown into a dark pit. He was sold, forgotten, and isolated in a foreign cell for years. He had to endure a season where it looked like the divine promise had completely failed him. But the pit was not a punishment. The cell was not a grave. It was a rigorous, isolated training ground. When his sudden elevation finally happened, without any warning, He was not just a dreamer anymore. He was prepared to govern. The isolation stripped away his ego, his dependencies, and his false attachments. The universe is doing the exact same thing to you right now. But here is where we must address a very deep psychological layer of your current reality. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest with your spirit. Why do you feel a subtle panic when things are actually peaceful? Why is it that when there is no drama, no conflict, and no immediate crisis, your mind starts searching for a problem to fix? This is the spiritual neuroscience of the chosen one. You have been in survival mode for so long. You have spent years fighting unseen battles, protecting your energy from energetic vampires, and bracing yourself for the next disappointment. You have lived in a state of high alert for such an extended period of time that your nervous system has actually become addicted to the struggle. Your brain has literally rewired itself to believe that chaos is normal. So when true peace finally begins to enter your life, your traumatized nervous system misinterprets that peace as a threat. It feels too quiet. It feels suspicious. You start waiting for the other shoe to drop. You aren't pushing good things away because you don't want them. You are pushing them away because peace feels dangerous to a nervous system used to war. And I have to ask you something right now, directly to your heart. If your divine counterpart walked into your life today, or if the exact blessing you have been praying for suddenly manifested this afternoon, with no drama, no toxicity, and pure peace, could your nervous system actually handle it? Or would you subconsciously burn it down because the quiet feels too unfamiliar? If you realize right now that you have been bracing for impact, even when there is no danger, I want you to do something to break that pattern. Do not move your physical body. Just mentally put down your shield for 1 second. Take a slow, intentional breath in, and as you exhale, go to the comments and type the words, "I see it." Let that simple declaration be your acknowledgement that the invisible war is over. You do not need to defend yourself against the good that is coming. But realizing you are in survival mode is only the first step. You cannot simply think your way out of a traumatized nervous system. You cannot just logically convince your body to feel safe. It requires a profound frequency shift at the cellular level, and that is exactly when I discovered a remarkable piece of medical research. I found a specific frequency, a biological key, that can instantly reset this survival state and pull your brain out of the trenches. It is a sacred technology that the modern system has aggressively kept hidden from you. I am going to show you exactly how to use this key in just a moment, because it is the bridge to everything you are about to receive. Take a breath right here. The hardest part of the waiting season is finally behind you. The clearing has been made. The old attachments have been burned away. But there is a massive danger approaching that most chosen ones never see coming. What happens when you bring an unhealed frequency into a divine, high-vibrational connection? The answer might terrify you, but you absolutely need to hear it before they arrive. When you carry the traumatized frequency of survival into a season of blessing, you will subconsciously burn the blessing down. If you do not recalibrate your frequency, you will push away the peace, because to a traumatized brain, peace feels like boredom. You will reject the sudden provision, because to a wounded heart, sudden provision feels like a trap. You will run from the divine connection, because true, consistent love feels absolutely terrifying to a soul that has grown accustomed to betrayal. This is what we call success terror. It is the deep, hidden fear of actually getting exactly what you have been crying out for, because you are terrified you might somehow ruin it. But I want to reframe this for you right now, and I want you to let this sink deep into your spirit. That fear you feel is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. The people who crash and burn in life are the ones who have no fear, because they have no awareness of the massive weight of the blessing. Your healthy fear is what proves you are finally ready to carry the weight. To understand how to stop this subconscious self-sabotage, we have to look at an ancient concept. In the original Greek language, there are two different words for time. There is chronos, which is chronological time, the simple ticking of the clock, and then there is Kairos. Kairos does not mean chronological time, it means the appointed time. It is the supreme moment, the exact split second when the divine steps directly into the physical world. You are entering your Kairos moment. But to step into Kairos, your brain cannot be stuck in the dense, heavy frequency of survival. Let me explain the exact science of what is happening in your mind. Scientists at institutions like MIT and Princeton have studied a specific brainwave called the gamma wave. I call it the God-given brainwave. When you were a child, your brain naturally produced massive amounts of gamma. It is the frequency of genius, of deep intuition, of flow state, and of magical synchronicities. But because of the stress of the modern world, the rigid systems you were forced into, and the trauma you endured, your brain experienced something scientists call the decline effect. By the age of 7, your gamma waves were systematically turned down. If you are watching this video, you are not an average person. Because you are a chosen one, this decline effect damaged you far more than anyone else. You were born with a much higher baseline of gamma. That is why as a child you felt things so deeply, learned so quickly, and had an intuitive connection to the unseen world that nobody else understood. So when the modern world forced your gamma to turn off, you felt the loss heavier than the people around you. The gap between the brilliant, limitless person you used to be and the heavy, exhausted person you feel like today is simply the absence of that gamma frequency. I know what you might be thinking right now. You are thinking that you have already tried meditation. You have tried sound healing. You have tried all the law of attraction routines, and nothing truly shifted your reality. I understand your skepticism, but I will tell you straight that those methods did not work because they do not target the root. Meditation requires months, even years of perfectly disciplined practice to coax the brain back into a gamma state. But neuroscience has discovered a backdoor. Dr. Robert Lake, a brilliant neuroscientist with decades of experience, figured out how to use advanced brain entrainment audio to force the brain directly back into the gamma frequency in just 7 minutes a day. It is called the Genius Song. This is not a meditation practice. This is a biological and spiritual recalibration. Normally, to access this level of clinical brain entrainment, you would have to spend over $300 for a single biofeedback therapy session, or buy clinical equipment that costs over $7,000. Dr. Lake compressed that entire technology into a simple digital track that you listen to with headphones. The original price was $49, which is already less than a single therapy session. However, because Dr. Lake wants to get this technology into the hands of the specific people who actually need it to fulfill their purpose, he authorized a special access price of just $39, exclusively for the people watching this exact video. With that, you also receive 4 powerful bonus tools, including the Genius Child Track and guided visualizations, all backed by a complete 100% money-back guarantee. If you listen to it and do not feel the energetic shift, you get every penny back. You risk absolutely nothing. But you must listen to me very carefully on this next point. Because this technology is so powerful, the internet is flooded with fake versions and counterfeit websites claiming to be the Genius Song. Those fake audio tracks do not contain the actual brain entrainment frequencies. They are just empty music that will do nothing for your mind. The only way to ensure you are getting the authentic, original technology with the bonuses and the guarantee is to use the specific, verified link I have placed in the description and the pinned comment of this video. Do not search for it anywhere else. If your spirit resonates with this recalibration, if you know you need this tool to prepare your vessel for the incoming blessing, investigate it, but only if you feel led by your intuition. Once your frequency is reset, once your brain is operating in that God-given gamma state, the physical world has to respond. The universe will begin a systemic reorganization of your entire life. But before I show you the 3 specific areas of your life that are about to drastically shift, I want you to do something small. Gently press the like button. Do not do it for me. Do it so this message can reach someone else out there who is sitting in the dark, terrified of their own breakthrough, needing to hear that they are not crazy. Let your action be the bridge for their healing. Now, let me tell you exactly what happens when your frequency finally matches heaven's intention. There are 3 massive areas of your life that are about to reorganize simultaneously. The first area that will shift is your relationships. The people you thought would be here forever have already exited your life, and I know it hurt. You probably spent nights questioning if you accidentally pushed them away. Do not try to hold on to them. Do not try to force what the universe has already declared over. Because just when you think you are destined to walk this path completely alone, people who understand your exact spiritual language will suddenly appear. The second area is your divine purpose. The heavy fog of confusion is lifting. You will no longer wake up wondering what you are supposed to do with your life or why you were given these unique gifts. Clarity is actively replacing the chaos in your mind. The third area is your provision. The resources you have been stressing over, the literal doors that seemed padlocked shut for years, are going to unlock naturally. You will not have to force them open. You will not have to beg for a seat at the table. They will open simply because your frequency finally matches the room they lead to. Let me tell you about a woman who was exactly where you are right now. She is 38 years old, and she had spent years desperately trying to find her soul tribe and her true connection. She went through the meditation retreats, she read the spiritual books, she practiced the yoga routines, but that deep, genuine connection never arrived. She felt completely invisible to the world. She did not start resetting her frequency because she believed in the science right away. She did it because she had absolutely nothing left to lose. Just 2 weeks after she stopped forcing it and started recalibrating her brain into that gamma state, something beautiful happened. She did not describe her breakthrough with numbers or metrics. She described it with one single word: synchronicities. She said it was as if the universe suddenly started speaking a language only she understood. The connections she had prayed for arrived on a completely random day. There was no warning, there was no grand announcement, just a quiet, sudden, perfect alignment. This is what I need you to understand deeply in your spirit. What felt like an endless delay was actually development. The waiting was not a denial. The waiting was the exact mechanism building the magnet. You had to become the magnet before the metal could be drawn to you. If you are ready to stop fighting the waiting season and start stepping into the frequency of the magnet, I want you to go to the comments right now and type, "I receive." Type it as an active declaration to the universe that you are ready to let go of the struggle and receive the connections that are walking toward you. I want you to bring your attention back to your physical body right now. Feel the invisible tension finally leaving your jaw. Notice how your shoulders are resting a little lower than they were 10 minutes ago. Notice how your breathing is deeper and slower now than when this video first started. Your spirit is settling because it recognizes the absolute truth in these words. We are approaching the most critical moment of this entire message. Stay with me, because what I am about to declare over your life in the next few minutes is the exact reason this video was placed in front of you today. We are going to do something together that is not a regular prayer, it is an activation. But before we can activate this new season, before you can step into the reality of these sudden, beautiful arrivals, you must definitively claim who you are. Because if you do not know who you are, you will not know what belongs to you. This is the truth that changes everything. You are the bridge. You are the one who connects the physical world to the spiritual realm, standing in the gap for those who cannot see. You are the light bearer, carrying illumination into rooms that have forgotten what light looks like. You are the seer, perceiving the invisible patterns that others are completely blind to. For years, you felt guilty for being different. You felt guilty for outgrowing the environments that used to hold you. But hear me declare this over you today. You are allowed to protect your energy. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to outgrow places. You are allowed to outgrow older versions of yourself. And you do not owe anyone an apology for becoming who you were always intended to be. If you are ready to put down that heavy burden, if you are safely able to, go to the comments right now and type, "I release." Type it to let go of the guilt of outgrowing your old life. Now, wherever you are listening to this, whether you are lying in bed or driving your car, do not move your physical body. Just perform this action in your mind. In your imagination, I want you to stand up. Imagine yourself standing at a massive threshold. The door is wide open, and on the other side is the exact frequency, the exact connections, and the exact peace you have been waiting for. This is not a regular prayer we are about to do. This is a commissioning. This is the moment your spiritual posture changes forever. Source, Creator, Divine Intelligence, we say thank you. Thank you for being the quiet presence in the darkest, most isolated nights of the wilderness. Thank you that even when it felt like abandonment, it was actually incubation. We acknowledge the massive weight this chosen one has carried. We acknowledge the tears shed in secret, the questions held in the dark, and the faithfulness they maintained in the smallest moments when nobody else was watching. Today, we forcefully release the heavy armor of survival. We release the fear of success. We release the trauma that made peace feel dangerous. We release the old ceilings and the old wounds. Right now, we call forth the divine connections. We call forth the people who speak their exact spiritual language. We activate the doors that have been held shut by disbelief. We place a shield of protection over their energy, guarding what is being built right now from premature exposure or spiritual sabotage. The waiting room is closed. The preparation is complete. Hear this declaration in your spirit, and if you are able to, go to the comments and type it with the force of a lion to seal your identity. Type, "I am ready. We are ready." The season of isolation is broken. The season of convergence is here. It is done. It is sealed. We receive it. One more thing before you go. You are not the person you were when you pressed play on this message. The frequency has shifted. If this message brought confirmation to what you have been feeling but could not name, if it brought peace to your chaos, let your like be your amen without words. Gently press the like button to seal your agreement. And if you know that you are part of this collective awakening, subscribe to this space to align with thousands of other chosen ones who are walking this exact same path. For those of you who felt the call in your spirit to actively reset your brain into that God-given gamma state, the 7-minute tool we discussed is available for you. The only authentic link is in the description and pinned comment. Investigate it only if you feel led. And finally, if someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who has been pulled away from everyone, someone who has been unusually quiet lately, someone who has been struggling to explain what they are going through. Share this message with them. Send it in a text, send it in an email. This might be the exact confirmation they have been praying for in the dark. Because you are not just leaving a video today, you are leaving a season.